So, not all 7 were strongly felt in the way of rebuttal, if you will. Only 4 out of the 7. Which doesn't mean that all relationships are doomed, because you guys were really tough when your emails in response. However, most men aren't that invested, and the proof is in the answers. 4 out of 7. So, let me go ahead and tackle 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now, if you remember the first situation, the guy had not hugged on her in a while, kissed her, and she felt like he was not invested in the relationship. Here was what I wrote down, the gist from his email, and then I will tackle my answer. He put, just because I'm not a PDA guy and I'm tired from work, it doesn't mean that I'm losing interest, and I'm definitely not cheating. However, I've been tempted, but I'm not straying. The fact that you have to even bring up that you've been tempted means that there's more than that there. Now, what I will tell you, that if you're not a PDA guy in the beginning of the relationship, then it makes sense. But you have been a PDA guy in the beginning of the relationship, otherwise she wouldn't have brought that up. So the fact that you think everything is hunky-dory, it clearly is not. Now, I'm not a marriage counselor, I'm a listening board. I want to listen to both sides and weigh this evenly. Maybe what you heard from me saying her opinion, you need to weigh every word closely, because maybe there's problems in that relationship that you need to talk to her about, and then see where you are at in the relationship. Weigh the pros, the cons, and then go see a counselor together. Because anybody who's been tempted, that's saying a lot more than you realize. 2, I feel that she is losing interest in the relationship. I didn't realize it sounded like a list of shortcomings. I apologize to her and to all of your viewers. I'm not cheating. I just see some of the original romance that we used to have, like when she would make sure that her hair was perfect and her makeup was on, and she wouldn't just want to be seen in jeans and a t-shirt. She'd want to throw on a dress, and it just feels like she's ashamed to be with me. Maybe she's the one losing interest in the relationship. And I think she's perfect the way she is. I love that comment. However, I just want some of the original romance back. Then maybe take that idea that you have, which is the original romance, incorporate it with what she feels like she's not measuring up to what you want in a relationship, with you saying, well, you used to do your hair like this. You used to put earrings and a necklace on and wear nice clothing when we would go out. Maybe you should take some of that complaints, as she's taking it, turn it around into a surprise and a compliment. If you still find her attractive, like she's the most amazing woman in the whole wide world, then go out and get her a dress in her size, get her a necklace, get her some earrings, maybe book her an appointment to get her hair done with her hairdresser, and the whole 9 yards. You want some of that romance back? Create that romance. Don't just make a list of complaints. Don't make her feel like she's not good enough or not measuring up to what your ideal romance is. Create the ideal romance. That's your job. It's like, okay, you get in these relationships and then you find reasons to nitpick or point out faults, but then we worry about, okay, if you're doing that with us, what are you doing when you're away from us? Are you seeing another woman? Are you seeing an ex-girlfriend? Are you comparing me to an ex-girlfriend? You create all of these scenarios in our head when without the, okay, I didn't realize I was doing this. How can I fix it? Before you make too long of a list of what she's not doing, shorten that list and you step up your game and make her realize she is your one and only. I hope that helps. Okay, I heard you say that I quote-unquote check out mentally time to time. Let it be known that I love my family, and lately our relationship has grown stale. I will admit that. But I'm going to ask you, oh, this is good, any solutions to add more quote-unquote spark to the relationship? See number 2 for the answer to that. I think the most important thing that you men can do is create that romance. Create that romance that we read about in books, that we yearn for. We want to be that girl in the book or the movie that has that happy ending, but we just don't hear the music playing, at the end of the movie. Yeah, watch The Mirror Has Two Faces. I kid you not. That's a good way of putting it. But create the romance. You may check out mentally time to time and you love that you're a married man with kids. That's great. But prove it. Put your heart and your vindication, if you will, of what you want out on the line. If you want to say, I'm not ready to check out of this relationship, I still love my family, and the relationship is growing stale. You see what it's doing? You're giving yourself a big negative, but yet you're giving yourself a major positive. How do you turn that negative over to the positive so there's an equal balance? Easy. Create some romance. It doesn't have to be overly expensive. You could do maybe a, not right now because we have snow on the ground, but like a picnic. Take her somewhere and pack a lunch, maybe something like you had on your first date, and put it all in a picnic basket. Take her out and to a nice spot, and just you and her, so you can talk, get your issues out. And then after you've done that, if she wants to go shopping, or if she wants to, if there's not much to do around here, stargaze, hopefully on a warm night, again, not like tonight, then you're creating a little romance. As long as you create some of that romance, you're going to be okay. But if you let the romance grow stale, then it's not going to have any spark. A thinking of you card. You can leave little hints like thinking of you cards, or post-it notes. I seen this on one of the shows I was watching the other night, and I thought it was cute and romantic. When she got, I think it was Married at First Sight. I don't remember if it was Married at First Sight or the couples cam, but anyway, they did these post-it notes. And as she got home, she had to walk through the house and find each post-it note. And it was like a little trail that led them to where they wanted to be romantically. You have to create the romance. And I just hope I say that enough that hits home for you guys. I know you're angry at me. I'm trying to de-escalate the anger, show you some solutions. All you have to do is put some romance back into the relationship, and you would be surprised at the result. Next question. Satisfying my own ego, really? I may cheat and I may be insecure and I need validation. What about hearing more compliments and less complaints? More I love yous and less honey-do lists? If I feel like I need validation, it's from my loving, faithful wife, not a waitress. It's nice to know she is jealous. I feared that she was losing interest. Maybe it's time we do find a counselor. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. But you're telling the wrong person. Tell her. And, the thing of it is, us women, I will give you this. Yes, sometimes we get on our soapbox about things that need done. And, we may look at all the negatives like you guys do. Take, for instance, that one gentleman who thought about, what she's not measuring up to. She's not saying you're not measuring up, though. What she's saying is, I appreciate you. Would you please do taking out the trash? And, the reason I felt that you may cheat and was a little insecure and needed the validation of an outside person like the waitress was that you were proud that this waitress winked at you in front of her. You shouldn't be proud. You should be like, that's nice, but I have a wife. And then don't tell me you're married. Tell it to that waitress. Maybe pull out pictures of your kids and be proud of the family that you have. Furthermore, if you think that your wife doesn't compliment you enough, that's something you need to talk to her about. Say, whatever happened to you saying, hey, I look great in this shirt, or that's my favorite cologne, or your eyes, well, not that a woman should ever compliment. I think it's nice to compliment guys on their eyes and their physique, yes, but it does seem to build their ego up so massively that they, think that they could have any woman in the room, like the waitress. So therefore, maybe that's what she was thinking of. And it's not that she was losing interest. Maybe she was fearful of losing you. So think of that. Sometimes we have past, and the past creates fear and anxiety. And we often wonder, take for instance, if we have a male figure in our life that was a huge factor at one point, then just, walks away without communication later on, and that one person was the person that was supposed to be our stable figure in our life, that leads to, okay, what if that happens to me and I'm in a marriage and that man sees another woman and that woman's giving him attention, and that's kind of what happened with that stable figure in my life. He got attention from another woman and just walked away. I hope I'm letting you see the big picture here, because it's not so much about what you think and feel, it's also about what she thinks and feels, because you're in a relationship, and relationships are 50-50. There's a lot of more give than there is take sometimes. And unless you sit down and have that heart to heart and be honest and forthright with each other, not only me as a listening board. I know it's nice to come to me because y'all tell me that I have the great insight. But it's amazing, isn't it? The woman who has great insight has such a problem making relationships work because of her fear of abandonment and her fear of not being good enough. So while I love helping you all, sometimes it hurts me as well. But those were the 4 that contacted me out of all 7. Not saying that all 7 don't give a hoot about their relationship. Just saying that 4 out of 7 contacted me on it. I'm glad they did. I like to help people, and yes, if some of you feel like a counselor needs to be seen, definitely go do it. I'm just a friend providing you with some solutions, hopefully, to these problems. Romance can be done in so many different ways. If you're feeling like you're not hearing those compliments, create a situation, a scenario, maybe like where you have just you two at candlelight dinner, no interruptions, and her focus is on you. So you can sit there and calmly say, not in an accusing manner, say, okay, I know you have some fears. Let's work them out together. Create an environment where it's not accusing, not angry, not seeking revenge. Just sitting there, 2 people in a nice situation having a conversation without any outside interference. I think that's the best thing I can tell all of you. And I hope that's helpful. And I probably shouldn't say this next phrase, but I'm going to go do it. I'm going to have a workout, and I hope to see you afterwards. I don't know if I'm going to definitely try to do the weights tonight. I don't know about the dancing because, like I said, I had some bleeding in the mouth going on last night. But the good news is, look at the calendar, folks. It's the 21st. So that means I've made it through the COVID shot. Knock on wood. But stay tuned. I hope to come back with you after the workout, and we'll go from there.